or it will be mock test will be conducted separately before the quiz one,
So
or
mock test will be done before quiz one, and solve with us is like week
okay,
specific.
okay,
Yeah.
and mock test will be based on the week 1 to 4, right?
Right. Whatever is
Okay,
coming
okay.
for your
When
exam. So it's like you can say a replica of your
okay,
quiz one. It's just to give you hands-on practice on
Re-
your.
based on the replica of quiz one, right? With the mock test.
Yeah, just to give you an idea, like, see, there are some questions and
Okay.
what kind of questions will be asked, those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Just keeping that in mind, we
Okay,
just
okay.
give you, prior experience of exam so
Okay,
that you can perform
okay,
well.
okay. Okay, okay, okay. But I think I could not find the date of the mock test, whether that
Uh,
will be scheduled later.
yeah, like you still have week 4 to go, so that will be something
Okay.
different. Yeah.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Sir, can I
So,
ask a question?
so now I should start my session. Yes, but still you can ask. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, do we allowed to take calculator in qualifier
You will
exam?
be given virtual calculator there.
Not the physical one. We
No,
can.
not the physical one.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir,
Yeah.
one last, the live stream of the open session, which has been done on 9th of May, and the live stream session link of the open session done on 6th of May are the same. I was hoping on the YouTube link and trying to find.
Okay.
Can you forward it to support
Sure.
team,
What
please?
we'll do is we'll update in the calendar.
Sure,
Okay.
sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for pointing this. Yeah. Okay. So, how was our week 1 graded assignment? Was it good? Did you perform well? Anybody?
Sir, it was nice, but I got a couple of questions wrong. But
Did you
one I
get the
got,
solution, PDF solution for this?
yeah, graded one assignment solution has been tagged.
Okay. Yeah.
But like I got the one which I got wrong was like there was this one repetition of option where like
Right. So you know what we are doing for these kind of things is maybe we'll send you a formal announcement, but just before the announcement goes, I'll tell you what it is. It's basically we actually figured out, yes, that was an error and it's a typo. So what we did was like those whoever has selected even a single correct options will be awarded full marks.
for that one,
Yeah,
right?
for that particular question.
And I got the last question.
The answer is 50.
The answer is 50. I got 60.
You got 60?
Yeah.
You shouldn't get. You should get 50.
Because I think it's coming 60 because I believe like AC should be part of AC should be part of set A instead of both set A and B, and that's why I think I got 50.
Okay, no problem. You can just go through the solution because we checked it multiple times and we found that, yeah, it was.
I have like yeah, I'll just go through the solution meanwhile as you go through your class. If something is there, I'll just share it. Otherwise, I got the questions right.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So okay, so today we are going to do this week 2 activity session. So it's an activity session. So let's keep it that way. So what I'll do is I assume, see, week 2, what I feel is the easiest week of all. It's just because it's like something we all of us know, even if we are working professional or let's say for all those who have not in the academia for like some years, because this is something we have studied in our schools, and also like if you are in already a curriculum, then this is like the easiest topic you can have. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly tell you what these things are, like what are various forms of equations, and what is slopes, like very basic things. And then maybe I can take up questions, and we'll try to finish today's session by like, let's say 1:45 or 2 hours maximum. Will not extend beyond this because we have some other meeting because it's a Friday. So we'll try to stick on to our timings. So that's what we'll do. So let's start with our thing. So as I told you, today it's week 2 activity questions. So let me just tell you what slope is, and then we can simply build on the concepts, right? And maybe I'll ask you questions, and then you can give me answers. So it's going to be that way, right? And we can even learn all those formulas. Maybe I'll not be telling you how these formulas are coming up. All we have to pay attention here is that you should know these formulas, because these are just basic things, and there are so many things which you can learn actually. So even during your examination point of view, all you have to do is like, this is, since it's very easy, all you need to know is just the formula and how to apply these formulas. That's all, right? And you can see some derivations is done by sir, so Professor Nilesh Upadhyay. So you can see his videos and get it done from there. But my purpose over here is just to tell you, summarize you what the things is, and then take up activity questions. And if activity questions is done within the time, then we can take up some other questions, right? So we can do that way, okay? So now, you see, let me start with a very basic thing. Let's say this is a road, okay? Or it's a road here. And let's say you have a stick, something like this. So, or maybe you can say that a person standing here and who is trying to lift this, okay? So what he does is he take this sticks and he lifts it up, okay? So what essentially he's doing is he's inclining this stick, right? He's actually lifting it. But how do you actually measure that how much has been lifted, right? So how do you actually measure that? So that something comes the angle of inclination. So you see this measure, like how much ever he lifts it up. So let's say he's lifting up this way. So whatever this lifting thing is doing, then how do you measure that how much is lifted? You cannot say, okay, the height is so much. You cannot measure this, and you cannot say that, yeah, the height is, let's say, 5 meters here. But again, the question comes, what is your reference, isn't it? Again, like when you lift it up, so again, you will have to change this reference. You have to bring it back here, but that's not very standard, right? So then how do you measure that? So that is something you do with the angle, right? So what do you do? This is called something called angle of inclination, like how much it is inclined, right? So what is angle of inclination? So angle of inclination is, so I'm not telling you those basic thing. What is this, Cartesian thing, Cartesian products, and also this rectangular coordinate system. I expect that you know. But even though if you have a doubt in this, you can ask me. But I don't think so. You should have. Even if you would have seen the first video, that should suffice the need. So what do you mean by angle of inclination? Basically, angle. So consider this stick what I was using here as a line now. Okay, because it's, you can just consider that thing. So you can actually, this is what you have to do. Like whenever you learn something, you should try to bring it practically. Okay, so now you see, you can actually present this stick in the form of line, right? So that's something we have to inculcate the habit of thinking it in that way, right? So that is something we can do. So as of now, we can consider this stick as a line. So what do you mean by this angle of inclination? So it's just an angle formed between, it's just an angle between a line and, see, this when I told you this is a ground, so you can actually, draw a coordinate system here. So it's a rectangular system. So I can just say this is something going to be like this, right? So this I can call this as an origin, and this I can call it as an x-axis, right? And this particular thing I can call this as a line. Okay. So now what do you see this? So what is the angle of inclination? It's an angle between, let's call this as theta. Okay. So the angle between line and x-axis is called what? Angle of inclination. Okay. So now we understood somewhat like what is this theta concept, right? So what is this theta and what is its importance? Like what do you actually measure with this, right? So that is something we know now. But then how do you actually find this theta? So now maybe I can just draw this a figure a bit bigger here. So you can say this. So maybe I can just, how do you actually find this? So you see this, basically, let's say the same stick, but it's inclined more. Let's say this is theta, okay? And let's say if I want to measure this, how much this is, right? Maybe I can just keep representing this and saying that, okay, this is, let's say, A and B, right? And this is my X and Y axis. You see this? This is my Y axis, this is my X axis. And as I told you, this was our ground initially. So just keep it like that. Okay, so how do you actually measure this theta, right? So, or since this is, how do you basically measure this theta, right? So you actually tends to do this with a concept called slope. So what do you mean by slope then, right? So if you would have seen the lecture, then this is very easy for you. Then what do you actually mean? How do you actually find this theta is the way you do it by the slope. So what do you actually mean by slope? So slope is basically a ratio of what? It's a ratio of increase in y as x increases by some amount. Okay, so if I say this, as x increases by some amount, let's say our x is here. Okay, say I initially my x was 0 here, but I'm increasing my x. So as I'm increasing x, what is happening to this y value? This is also increasing. I hope you know what is x and y value. When I notate this point, so this is going to be my x. You see this? This is going to be x and y. So you represent any coordinates. I mean, you represent any point with two coordinates, right? So you just say that one is x-axis and one is y-axis, and that's how you represent, right? So that's what we do. So as x increases, the y increases, right? So then how do you get this slope? So as I told you, the slope is nothing but it's a ratio of increase in y as x increases by some amount, right? So you see this, if this is, let's say, change in x. Okay, so change in x means, let's say initially here, okay, I'll tell you what is change in x and change in y. And this is change in y. So slope is nothing but it's just the ratio of change in y. This is delta y by delta x. So this delta symbol, what you see, this triangular thing is called as in delta symbol. And it talks about the change. So change in y, okay? So now you see this slope, let's say this was initially 0, 0, and let's say this was 3, 0, this point, but that is not of our interest. So this is something I have to pay attention to. So this, let's say this is 3, 3. Okay. So now if I have to ask you, what is the slope of this line AB? So what will you say? What is change in y? So change in y is nothing but this part, right? And y is nothing but this distance. So 3 minus 0 is what? 3 minus 0 is 3. And what is x? Change in x. Change in x is nothing but 3 minus 0, right? So this is again going to be 3 minus 0. So what is the slope that I'm getting? 3 by 3, which is nothing but 1. Okay. So now you see this. So this is basically a slope wherein you just find the ratio between change in y and change in x, right? So change in y as x changes by some amount. So just keep it in that way. So now having known this is the slope. What does this actually means, right? So, and how do you actually get our inclination, that's theta? How do you actually get it, right? So how do we do this? Let's understand. Now in a trigonometry, it's like you don't have to learn entire trigonometry, just know this, what it is, right? So you see this, if there is there's something called tan theta. So how do you get this tan theta concept, right? So let's say if I have a triangle, something like this again, let's say, yeah. So maybe I can just draw a triangle here and say like this, okay? So you see this, let's say this is theta and this is your y. So maybe you can call this as 5. No, maybe you can call this as 4, 3, and let's say this is going to be 5. So I just applied this. So what is this tan theta tells you? Tan theta is basically a ratio between perpendicular to the base. So now what is perpendicular to the base? Let's understand this. So if I call this A, B, and this as C. So for this theta, the perpendicular height is something this one. So this is something, or you can say that opposite side. So this is going to be like BC by AC. So what essentially you are doing, don't you see this is similar to delta y by delta x? Can I call this as delta y? Having known this is my base and this as our line. So can I call this is something like similar to delta y and this is something similar to my delta x, right? Right? So
Yeah.
I can say this tan theta is basically, though this is something, a default thing, that is something you should know. Based on this, I'm just trying to find out what this theta can be done. So this is something we should know, okay? That is not something I'm telling you, but this is something mathematical thing. Like how do we add some concepts? Like if I say 5 plus 4 is what? 9. Just like that, tan theta is what? Perpendicular by base. That's all. It's simple, right? So it's some standard which mathematicians has given. That is something we take as a base and we build our concept. So just like that, tan theta is nothing but it's a perpendicular by base. Now let's just understand this. Now I just made I just convinced you this, that this is nothing but delta y by delta x itself. So what is our BC? BC is nothing but delta y, and AC was what? Delta x. So did we get some similarities from here? Now, can I say this is also a slope? So slope is basically a tan theta, right? Can I say this? Can I say this? Yes, I can say that. So then how do you actually get tan theta? How do you get this theta? So now there is a very interesting thing. If you already know trigonometry, then it's well and good. So you just do what you do. You take the inverse of this. So if you want to find out theta from here, what you do is you do this tan inverse. And I know that you don't know this, most of you at least, because we did not teach you yet. So that's okay. But as if now, I just want to tell you this. If we can get this tan theta, then we can actually get theta. All you have to do is just do the inverse of this and you get the theta value. Okay. So now,
So how do you get the inverse?
so that is not the scope of this learning here. So we can just keep that aside right now. Okay. So as if now, how do you actually get it? It's just that some tabular value. So for B, it will be just like this. Let's say tan 30. What is tan 30? Anybody?
1 by root 3.
1 by root 3. Okay. So if I have to give you that, just you have to memorize some things, or maybe you don't even have to memorize. If something comes like this, we'll tell you, okay, this is what the value is. We are not getting into trigonometry, right? So if I have to ask you, next time, if I have to ask you if tan theta is 1 by root 3, so then what is theta? Can I say it is 30?
30.
So this is basically the ratio, as you know this. So this ratio will be given to you. So from this ratio, you can actually make an understanding of the theta is this, right? So the moment you do this, when this ratio is given, so what you do is you write down this theta, tan inverse of what? 1 by root 3 is what? 30 degree. That's all.
30.
That's all. Okay, so nothing more we have to go into this, nothing deeper and nothing more. Okay, so it's this much is fine. Okay, all we have to know is, okay, what is this sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta? That's all. This basic definition, what do you mean and what these ratios are? That's all. Okay, so now we understood that, okay, how do we get the inclination, the angle of inclination, and we also understood how to get what is actually a slope, right? We first went with the definition of slope, and then we found the slope of a line, right? And then we also convinced ourselves what is this tan theta concept. We introduced this, and then we understood how do we actually get this angle of inclination. So now, having known this, with these concepts, we can actually move forward. Now we can see this. Now, if I have to ask you quickly, so if I have a question for you here, let's say, if I just give you 2 points, maybe I can give this as a Q1 and then ask you a simple question. It's like, what is the slope? What is the slope of a line segment AB where A is 5,5 and B is 2,2? Can anybody quickly tell me this answer? This is 5,5. Yes. Okay, so what did you do?
One,
You did
sir.
what? You did what? You just took the slope of this. This is delta y by delta x. Now what? How do you actually get this? So from here, I can actually say that, so maybe I can just generalize this here and say this slope, which is actually equals to tan theta, which is actually equals to delta y by delta x, which is actually equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So maybe this is something we can have a takeaway from here, right? So now over here, what is your y2 and what is your y1? So it depends on you, whichever you want to take this, but make the same notation. If this is your x1, so then this corresponding will be y1. Okay. And if this is your x2, then the corresponding will be y2, right? And now just put this in the formula to get the slope, right? So you get this slope as what? For this, you get what? Slope as
45 degree.
Right? So you get this answer. The slope is nothing but 1.
1.
Right? Okay. So now, having known this concept, let's having known, I mean, we understood something over here. So now we can just actually go with a straight line concept and understand and do some bigger problems, right? So now we know what is a slope. Now let's go with the equations of line in various form. So I know it's a slight jump, but we have to obey our time as well, because I can't teach you the whole week contents in just like that. So let's just give a shift to this. So what do you actually mean by equation of line? So now I give this as third heading, equation of a line. Okay, so before going to equation of a line, how do you draw a line? What is the minimum criteria for you to draw a line, right? So what do you actually mean? So if I have to draw a line, what all things are needed, right? Now, see, if I have been given a 2 points, then I can find a line. If I have been given, let's say, at least 2 points should be given for us to draw a line. Or if a slope is given and a point is given, then I can find a line, right? Or if, let's say, there are some x-intercepts or y-intercepts are given, then I can find a line. So there are various ways of doing it, but how do we actually mean it, right? So let's first understand the characteristics of a line, and just I'll give you an intuitive idea how does it look like. So in a general form, how do we write this line? Y is equals to mx plus c, where this m is nothing but slope. I hope now what is slope is something known to you, and this is nothing called this is nothing but your y-intercept. So this is like generally we write, I mean, we are very much used to these kind of equations, and this is nothing but the slope-intercept form. So this is one of the forms of equations of line. Okay, so there are various forms of equations of line. So let's quickly discuss them one. So maybe if I to tell you, so first is what? A general form. So how do we write this general form? So general form of line is nothing but you will have it something like this: ax plus by plus c is equals to 0. So do not worry what is this ABC. It can be anything. It can even be 0 in some extent. For some of these, like c can be 0, right? Even, yeah, all these things can happen, right? So now let's go with another thing, and then we can do the conversion as well. Now let's go with something called intercept form, or maybe not intercept form, but I can take you like slope intercept form. Then we can build slowly. Then we have something called slope intercept form. So how does this looks like? Slope intercept form, you will have two things wherein you just have x intercepts. Your x intercept is nothing but d. I hope you know what is this. Otherwise, I'll tell you anyways when I'll explain you with the diagram. And y intercepts, let's call this as c. So the equation for this is nothing but, or maybe I can just draw the line and explain each of these. So you see this, this is your x and y axes. So this is my y and this is my x. And let's say this is the line which is going through. So what is this d? D is this distance. And when we say this d is this distance, okay? And x-intercept means the line where it cuts the x-axis. That's why it's called as an x-intercept. So that distance, that d what I have mentioned, that is nothing but the x-intercept. So when a line is given to you, and let's say I tell you the slope for this line, the slope for this line is nothing but, let's say, m. Okay, so the slope is already given to you. So what is given here? So slope will be given, and any of the x-intercept or y-intercept will be given. So if that is given, then how do you find the line? So the line you will find is y is equals to m x minus d. Now you know what is d and you know what is m, right? So m is nothing but the slope, right? So you got this. Similarly, if I have to find out with this one, so how do I get this? Now y is equals to mx plus c. But what is this c then? So c is nothing but this y-intercept. This is called c. Okay. So, but you will see most of the time we'll be using this one. This is like very standard. And this is something we'll be extensively using it. Okay. So now you see this slope intercept form, it is of two types, wherein a slope is given and x intercept is given. Then how do you find the line, right? So that's the way. And when a slope is given and a y intercept is given, then how do you actually find the line? This is the formula. So I know I'm just giving you formula just like that and not telling you exactly what this and how is this coming up. That is something you can learn from the lecture. So that is something you can do. Now let's go with the third thing. So now you see, we found the equations of a line in two ways as if now, when a slope is given and the intercepts are given, and a general form like ax plus by plus c equals to 0. Similarly, now if I go with the third one, so another form for it, you can find it as, let's say, 2-point form. So what do you mean by 2-point form? What will be given here? 2 points will be given. So when 2 points are given, so you see this. Now let's say this is 1 point. Let's say this is x2, y2, and this is another point. Let's say this is something here, x1, y1. So if I have to draw the line, what should I do? Just connect these two and extend them beyond, right? So this is what I do. So from here, what can I get? Or maybe before going to 2-point form, okay, let's go to 2-point form first, and then we can actually get this, the other one. So you see this, this is what you get. So what do you actually get from this is, now from here, the formula is y minus y1 by y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1 times x minus x1. Okay, or you can write this as y2 or x2, depending on whatever. Okay, could you tell me what is this part? Y2
Slope.
minus y1. It's a slope.
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 Right?
Sir, slope.
Slope. So now from this formula, you see this is basically a slope, right? Y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1 will actually give you a slope, right? And over here, so if a slope is given, okay, so maybe I'll go to, that is our next point. So this is in 2-point form, this is the formula. Now if I have to go with another point, so like the other thing is called as a slope point form. So slope point form. Interestingly here, the slope will be not given to you, but what will be given is a point and a slope. So if a point is given, let's say your point is nothing but x naught, y naught. Okay. So then how do you get the line? So it's simply, you see the analogy from here. So this is going to be y minus y naught, and a slope is given. This was nothing but your slope itself. So this I can write it as m, and x minus x naught. So essentially, how does this curve look like is, I mean, how does the graph look like for this is, basically you can say it like this, and you have been given a point something like x naught, y naught, and a slope is given to you. So what we are telling is this slope m is given to you, right? And we are telling this line passes through this point. Then what is the equation of a line? This is something you get. Okay. So I'll mute you all again. So you see this is something we get. Now, what about the next other thing? So now you see this, the other thing is, please mute yourself because I can't keep muting you all. Okay. So now let's go with the next concept, that is something called, maybe we can say this as intercept form. Now, how do we get this? In intercept form, you see this, you will have, the formula is like y by x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. So if I have to draw this, so it's something going to be like this, and this is nothing but your a, this is nothing but your x-intercept, and this is your y-intercept. Let's call this as b, right? So this is your b. So this is how you get. When I say, if I have to give you a question and I say you that your x-intercept is 5 and your y-intercept is 6, what is the equation of line? Could somebody tell me? Just tell it verbally.
X by 5 plus y by 6
is equal to 1. Right?
1.
So that also you have to take care of, right? So now this is like, in general, this is what it is, right? So these are like some, what you can say, the 5 forms. And as if now we can just stick on to these many. That is more than enough. And we can build our concepts from here on. Okay, so what did we do here is, from here we can actually, you see, we can actually get the equations of a line in various forms, right? And if I have to give you a question, it's just this, I just have to tell you some points, and all you have to do is substitute in this and get the answer. So that is very easy thing. So let's not do that. You can do it by yourself. You can practice. You have a lot of questions to do, so you can do with them. So maybe after knowing how to get the equations of a line in various forms, how do you convert one form to another? Okay. Now, if I have to tell you this, now let's quickly do some problems over here, like based on them. So let's say this is our question number 2. And if I tell you, you have an equation y is equals to 5x plus 3. Could you quickly tell me what is the y-intercept for this?
3.
3.
Y-intercept is 3.
3.
Could you tell me what is slope for this?
5.
5.
Could you tell me what is x-intercept for this?
3 minus 3 by 5.
Three.
3
Three,
x-intercept. How?
Yeah, why?
Minus 3 by 5.
Minus 3 by 5. But how do you do this? So you see this. How do we convert this? Now look at this. How do we convert this? You remember this formula: x by a plus y by b is equals to 1. And what was your this? This was your x-intercept. This was your y-intercept, right? So we'll just convert this in this form and try to get the answer. So now you see this. If I take this to the other side, what do I get? So this turns out to be minus 5x plus y is actually equals to 3. So what I'll do is now, since I need on the right hand side, I need 1. So what I'll do, I'll divide this by 3. So what do I get then? So I get this minus 5x by 3 y by 3 is equals to 1. But then what is my a? My a is not minus 5 by 3. How do I write this? So I write this in this form: 3 by 5 y by 3, which is equals to 8. So what is my x-intercept? Could you tell me?
3 by 5.
Minus 3 by 5.
Minus 3 by 5.
Right? So this is something we got it. Now what else we can get from here? I think we have exploited everything, right? Can we exploit anything more from here? No. So this is all. Like, this is what you can do, right? So this is simple thing. And what did you do? You just converted one form to another form to get the answer. And this is something like useful form when you find the x-intercepts and y-intercepts like that. Okay. So I'll mute you all again because you're not muting yourself. Okay. So now having known this, let's go. Now we have understood slope, and we understood how to represent a line in different form. Now let's do something more with two lines. Okay. Now what all we can do with the two lines. So let's see this. Now comes the next concept. Maybe I can say this. When we have two lines, what all things we can do with the two lines? So maybe I can just draw it like this. Now you see this, I have a two lines. What all things I can do with two lines? Maybe I can just give the heading as two lines, and let's see what all things we can do with this. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. So now I have a two line. So what can I have with two lines? See, one thing I know is a line might intersect, right? This can happen. What else can happen with the line? Two lines in two dimensions. They can
be perpendicular to each other.
right.
They
Or
can be parallel to each other.
parallel to each other. Or see, they can be something like this. They can be parallel. They will never meet. One thing is they will meet. Yeah, fine. But either they will meet or they'll not meet. So maybe I can just give it to you in this way. If I have been given a two lines, it can either be a parallel line, something like this, whether they will never meet, or they can meet. I mean, they can intersect. So this I can call it as parallel line. And what else can happen with this? They might intersect. Maybe I can say it as intersecting lines, and then I can just do more with this. Intersecting lines. Now what intersecting lines means? You can have something like this. Maybe they might intersect with some angle, let's say theta, right? They might intersect with some angle, let's say 90 degree, when theta is 90 degree, right? So you might have concepts like this. Let's say this is theta, but theta is what? 90 degree. So this is what? Perpendicular lines, right? So here, this is, let's call this is L1, this is L2, and let's call this as again L1, and this as L2. Here also, let's call this as L1 and L2. L1 and L2 are nothing but the lines, right? So you see the intersecting lines can go like this. Then you can have some more thing that basically it can fall under this category. Though they might be parallel, but they will overlap on them. So you see, this is my line 1, and you will find this line 2 is here itself. It's like coinciding on this, right? So you will find L1 and L2 on them. Okay, so you can have this thing also, right? So now what? Now let's go with this. Now I think you would have learned it in your lecture that two intersecting lines, when they intersect, that acute angle, that theta, right? That acute angle is nothing but what? You say this tan theta. So maybe I can just give you another figure and then tell you that, okay, this is something happening. So maybe this is what I can tell you from here. So let's say this is two lines similar to this. This is what I'm taking. So maybe I can call this as A and call this as B, and I just discuss A here. So you see this, if this is, let's say, some alpha 1, and this is line 1, and this is your alpha 2, and let's say this is your line 2. Okay, and it makes some angle, let's say this is theta, and this is phi. So maybe this theta is okay, and let's say this theta is lesser than 90 degree, and this phi is greater than 90 degree. Okay, so now what? So this theta, the angle between these two lines, you see, this is the angle between two lines, right? This theta and phi are the angle between these two lines, L1 and L2, right? So this theta, if you want to find out, then what is the formula? This theta you can actually get from this line. So you see this is tan theta. Tan theta is given as m2 minus m1 upon 1 plus m1 m2. So do we have any modulus symbol anywhere in this formula? Anybody?
Yeah, I think this one M2 minus M1
No,
is
sir.
mod.
Yeah.
Actually, okay.
M2 minus M1 should be the mod, no? Because we will take the positive one.
Okay. So now we can just give it that way. So now you see this. Now you understand from here. From here, what do you get? What is this M2? M2 is nothing but the slope of this line L1, right? So this is your, from here, what you get is M2. From here, what do you get is M1. So you see this, maybe I'll mute you all again. So from here, what do you get? M2 and M1, we got it. So what is this M1 and M2? These are nothing but the slopes, right? And so maybe I can just write down here. So this M1 is nothing but what? M1 is nothing but.
So is there M1 and M2 the tan of alpha 1 and alpha 2?
Yes, exactly. That's what I was writing here. Tan alpha 2. Okay, so now having known this, now look at this for perpendicular line, what happens? Now, if this theta are varying, so then what happens? Now, if let's say this theta is nothing but the angle between the two lines, right? What is the angle between these two lines? L1 and L2 here in the parallel line things. What is the angle between these two lines?
I have a doubt, sir. I have a doubt.
Yeah. Tell me.
Sir, if we find the theta, how do we find the other one phi? If the question is to find the angle of phi.
You see this, basically this part, it's like concept of geometry. This entire thing is of 180 degree.
Okay.
180 minus
180
theta.
minus theta.
180
minus
is
theta.
nothing but phi. Yeah, so you get it from there. So now you see from here, let's tell me what is the angle between these two lines, alpha 1 and alpha 2.
No.
It's basically 0, right? Right.
Yeah, 0, 0.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So how do you get this? There's like special case for this. So what is tan 0? Tan 0 is 0, right? If you don't know, just know this. Tan 0 is 0. So this is going to be modulus of m2 minus m1 upon 1 plus m1 m2. So this is basically like this. So this is something you get.
So can we roll back a little bit? I have a couple of questions. How does M2 become tan of alpha 2? Say like if you say like a tangent is basically perpendicular to the base, then the perpendicular to the base should be for line 2 should be 90 degree, right?
How?
You're saying it's perpendicular to base, right? So if I draw that to the base of x-axis,
Perpendicular to the base, yeah, right. So this is your alpha 2, right?
no, so a tangent should be perpendicular to the base, correct?
Why is that?
Okay,
There's
yes.
nothing like that.
Yeah, because it's opposite to that. Okay, I get it. Okay. I was confused with something.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. So now you see this. This is basically a special case over here where what your slope, your theta was what? So here your theta was 0. So here it's like special case. So maybe I can just say this. Your theta is 0 here, and that's how this comes in. And tan theta is 0. So now if I have to just simply solve this, what do I get? Now I'm just solving this part. You see this? When I solve this, what do I get? So I can just simply throw this to the other side and make it 0. So what do I get from here? M2 minus M1 is equals to 0, or M1 is equals to M2. So this is a special case where two lines are parallel. When will you say two lines are parallel? When their slopes are same. This is what it means, right? So can I say two lines are parallel if their slopes are same? Can we say this? We can say
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Now
Yes,
look
sir.
at this B part, which I'm taking out from here. Now, what is your theta mean? What is the theta value here? Theta is what? 90 degree. Maybe I'll mute you all again. So could you tell me what is theta value here? Theta was 90 degree. So what is tan theta? What is tan 90? This is also you should memorize. Tan 90 is nothing but it's basically not defined. Or in other words, or in other words, if I have to tell you, this also
Sir,
implies
infinity.
or you can say infinity as well. So, or in other words, if I have to tell you what is 1 by tan 90, 1 by tan 90 is 0. Okay, or you can just say not defined, or like it goes to infinity. So you know that 1 by 0 is infinity, 1 by infinity is nothing but 0. Okay, so it's just this. So 1 by tan 90 is 0. So now, having known this part, let's do something more over here. So now from here, what do I say? Now I got to know this tan 90 is not defined, so I cannot do anything with this non-defined thing. So what I have to make sure is just I will reciprocate this. Now if I take this here, what am I doing? I'm just reciprocating it. So what I'll do, I'll just flip it off. So I'll just write 1 by tan theta, which is nothing but 1 plus m1 m2 upon m2 minus m1. So can I do this? Yes, I can do this. I just flipped it. I did nothing more, right? So it's acceptable. Okay, so if this is the case, then I know what is 1 by tan 90. What is 1 by tan 90? From here, 1 by tan 90 is 0, right?
Yes,
Which is
0,
equal to
0.
1 by m1 m2 upon modulus of m2 minus m1. Now, similarly, what will I do? I'll just send this to the other side, right? So I'll just send this to the other side. It becomes 0. So now this also from here, what do I get? 1 plus m1 m2 is nothing but 0, or I can say this m1 times m2 is nothing but minus 1. Now this is another condition which I get from here, that two lines are perpendicular when the product of their slopes gives me minus 1. Okay, so from here, can I make this understanding? Two lines are perpendicular if the products of their slope, is minus 1.
Nice.
Or can I say it conversely this way, that if the product of two lines, if the product of the slope of two lines is minus 1, then I can say that those two lines are perpendicular to each other. The conversely holds good. Okay, so if I tell you that, okay, the slope of this line is let's say 5, and the slope of another line is minus 1 by 5, so can I say that both the lines are perpendicular? Can I say this?
Yes.
Can I say this? Yes, I
Yes,
can say
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
right? So this both holds good. Now what about this one? So over here, we made some, this I can just give you an heading, perpendicular line. Over here, this is nothing but collinear. What is theta in this case? Theta is again 0. It's similar to parallel lines. So what do you see here? Again, m1 is equals to m2. Okay. So for collinear lines, again, the same condition. Okay. So the line actually overlaps each other. So this is what, so this is one of the condition to check the collinearity of a line. If I give you two lines, and if I say the slope of line one is 5 and slope of line another is 6, 5 again. So can I say the line is collinear?
Yes.
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir,
may
it can
be.
be parallel.
Maybe. How can?
It's you have a condition there, right?
Yes.
So okay, now based on this, now answer this question. Now let's say you have an equation of a line something like this: 2x plus 2y is equal to 1. Okay. Now this is one line. This is, let's say, your L1, and let's say you have another L2, which is nothing but let's say x plus y is equals to half. Okay. Can I say these lines are collinear, or
No.
they are not?
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
They are collinear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Why?
Minus.
They are multiplied
Because
by 2.
essentially, look at L2. What will happen is you just have to cross multiply this. So what do you get from here? 2x plus 2y is equals to 1, right? And this is essentially the line 1, isn't it?
The x and y interceptor set.
So what you have to notice here is for collinear lines, the line actually has to be exactly the same. It's just that these values keep changing. You have to do some kind of modification to get that answer. Now we understood this parallel line, and similarly, I can say these are parallel lines as well, right? But it's just that they are collinear, right? Look at the slope for both the lines. Slope of both of the lines are same. So now see, we did something with 2 lines. Now what more? Now let's go with 3 lines and do something more else. Like what all things we can do with 3 lines. Okay. So before going to 3 lines, maybe I can take up this a bit later. What all things we can do in space? Now you see this. Let's say in your Cartesian or like in your rectangular coordinate system, I give you a point. Then what all you can do with the point? You can do nothing, but you can just locate something. That's all. But if I can give you 2 points, then you can do a lot more. What you can do, you can actually get the equation of that line. Equation of a line passing through these 2 points. You can actually get the slope, you can actually get the x-intercept, you can actually get the y-intercept, right? This is all we can do, right? So now what you can do is, now if you have been given a 2 lines, then, or let's say if you have been given a 1 line, and if I have to tell you, okay, what is the distance of a point from this line, any point in the space, and if I ask you, okay, what is the distance of that point from this line? So how do you basically do this, right? So let's find out that. But before going there, let's discuss some small topics, something like this. Some small topics like maybe distance between 2 lines. Distance between not 2 lines, but 2 points. Distance between 2 points. These are like very small things. So how do you get this? Now this is, let's say this is your point x1, y1, and this is your point x2, y2. So now if I have to find out what is this distance between them, so how do you get this? So you know the formula, right? What is the formula for this distance d? Let's say this is distance d from them. Come on, you can.
y1 का whole square plus x2 minus x1 का whole square.
So this is y2 minus y1 the whole square plus x2
minus
x1 square. So this is something we know, right? So distance between the 2 lines. Now, if 2 points are given, I can even find the distance between those 2 points. Now, this is also I can do when the 2 points are given, right? Now, what more? When what more you can do is, now what is the distance between a point and a line? So what is given to you here? You have been given a point and a line, and you are asked to find out the distance of that point from a line, or the vice versa, saying that what is the distance of this line from this point. Okay, so how do you actually get this? So let's say you have this point. Maybe we can just say it as, let's say the point is something like, okay, x comma y. Maybe our point is x1 comma y1. Okay, this is our point. This is our point, and you have been given a line something like this. This point is given. This is, let's say, this is our given data. This point is given, and you have been given a line something like this: ax plus by plus c is equals to 0. Could you tell me what is the slope of this line quickly?
Minus a by b.
Minus a by b.
So what did you do? You actually brought this in slope-intercept form, right? Right. So this is something more you can do, and similarly you can find the x-intercept and whatnot, right? So these are given things, and now you have to find out the distance between this line. Let's say this line is somewhere here. This is this line. Okay, this is this line, and this point is given x1 comma y1. Let's say this is x1 comma y1. So what is this distance is? Can I have this distance d something like this, or it should be something like this? Whenever we say a distance, it's always the shortest distance, and shortest distance are those which are the perpendicular distance. Okay, so you never say this distance. This is like very far, right? This is not a perpendicular distance. So whenever we say a distance of a point from a line, so you basically find what? You find the perpendicular distance, because that's the shortest distance that you can have, right? Because it's very naive to say that, okay, what is the distance of a point from a line? But again, you might end up finding the largest distance, which is something infinity, and the smallest distance, which is something the perpendicular distance, right? So that is, so we don't actually tend to say that perpendicular distance, but we actually mean this. So what is the distance of a point from a line? So this is what distance d. So what do you get this distance? How do you, what is the formula? Could someone tell me? It's modulus of ax
Modulus of ax1
plus
plus
b
by1
by
plus c
plus c
divided by root of a square plus b
root
square.
over of
square
a
plus
square plus
a
b
square
square.
plus b square. Okay, so now quick question to you over here itself. If this x1 y1 was, let's say, 2 comma 2, and a line was given to you, let's say, maybe I can give this as here, so maybe I can give this question here. So let's say this is our question number 3, and you have been given a point something like this. Let's say 2 comma
Can
2.
you explain this again? I didn't get
Yeah,
this.
sure.
So,
You see this, basically what you are given here is you are given a point and you are given a line. So this is the equation of a line and this is the point given to you. All I'm telling you to find out the distance of this point from a line. So whenever we tell you distance of a point from a given line, what do we actually find? We find the minimum distance. We do not find the longest distance, because longest distance is going to be something infinity, because you see this d can be somewhere like this. It might even go parallel and never meet this, right? So you always tend to find the smallest distance, and the smallest distance are the one which is perpendicular to this. So you see this, when you find this distance d, this is the distance. So you happen to find that the minimum distance will actually make a 90-degree with this line. So essentially you are doing a construction here. You're basically drawing a line and you're saying that, okay, this is the smallest distance. When you find the smallest distance, you'll actually find this angle of inclination of this distance with this line is actually going to be 90 degrees. Or conversely, you can understand. Understood now? Understood? You should at least tell something.
Yes, sir. Yeah, understand.
Okay. So now a line is given to you here. So line is, let's say, y is equals to 2x. Now tell me, what is the distance of this 2.2 from this line? Or maybe, yeah, what is distance of this point 2.2 from this line L1? Quickly solve it and give me the answer. So meanwhile, even I'll solve with you. So you see, this is my formula, right? And you see my equation of line, how it is. It's in the general form. So I have to bring this in general form first of all, right? So if I bring this in general form, so general form is minus 2x plus y plus 0 is equals to what? 0, correct? So now this is my general form. And you see this, now all I have to do is have to find out this distance. So how do I do this? Modulus of minus 2, I'll write it as it is. What is my x they are telling? X is what? 2. So just put this 2 plus y. So this is 1, so just let it be like this. So y, what is your y? Y is 2, and this is going to be 0, so keep it as it is, over, now this modulus over root over of a square plus b square. So what is your a? A is this, a, b, c. So the coefficient of this, so this is going to be minus 2 square plus 1 square, and this gives you what? Distance d. So what do you get from here? You get what? When you simplify this, so this is going to be minus 4 plus 2 upon root over of, from here what do you get? 5, root 5, because square and this thing turned out to be this. So now when you simplify this, so you get what? So you get 2 by root 5.
2 by root 5.
So you get this distance d is nothing but 2 by root 5. So now this is how you get, right? So what is the distance between this point to this line was? From this point to this line, this distance was 2 by root 5, some units, like let's say meter, kilometer, or whatever, like whatever the distance would be given. So now this is something we did. Now what more? Now let's do something more with distance. I don't know if I have stringed it more or what. Okay, so maybe I can use some difference. So now let's go with this. So now let's go with next concept. What is basically distance between two parallel lines? Distance between two parallel lines. So you know that two parallel lines, they never meet and they'll be separated by certain distance, right? This distance, right? This is that distance, they'll be separated. And we know whenever we say a distance, we are finding the minimum distance. So it's making a 90 degree, right? So how do you get this distance? So what is the formula for this? So let's say this is the line L1. So how do you represent? AX plus BY plus C1 is equals to 0. And this is nothing but AX plus BY plus C2 is equals to 0. Why do you see this A and B are common to both?
Because they are parallel.
Parallel
They're
lines.
Because
parallel.
they are parallel and we have to make sure that their slopes are same. What is the slope for this line? What is the slope for
C1 and
this line?
C2.
No, no,
C1,
no.
No.
Minus
Those are
B
not
by
the
Be zero,
slopes.
right?
Minus A by B, no?
Minus A by B.
Yes, sir.
And what is
Minus
the
A by
slope
B.
for this?
0, right?
Come on, for this one, how can it be 0?
Same
What is the
minus A
slope
by
for
B.
Sir, minus A by B.
minus A by
minus
B?
A by
So
B.
if I have kept this as a different variable, it would have given a different slope, right? So I have to make sure that these are same because I have to make sure the slopes are same. Clear? And by writing C1 and C2 different, I also mean what? They might not be collinear. So what will happen if C1 is equals to C2?
Collinear.
They'll become collinear. Essentially, that will be the same line, right? It will become a same line. I hope you're getting it. You're getting it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, sir.
But if C1 and
Yes,
C2 is different, they are parallel, but they are not collinear.
So,
Clear?
but like say X and Y were different instead of the intercept.
What about what?
Say like you're because only the intercept is y-intercept is different. That's why this line becomes the same. But if say if the intercept is same and the other coordinates are different, then also the line is different, right?
Other coordinates are how can you say that? Like
I mean to say like here you've only differentiated between the y-intercept.
how is that? See, C1 and C2 is not your y-intercept. How do you write this when you write this in this form? Y is equals to mx plus c. Then it becomes this is your y-intercept. Is it
Okay.
in that form? No, right?
No,
So you have to first bring it in that form and then see. Of course, the y-intercept is different for both of them. But C1 and C2 is not the y-intercept. Can you tell me what is the y-intercept for the first line?
C by B.
Minus B by A.
Minus b by a. No.
C1 by B.
C by B for y
Minus
intercept.
C1 by B, no? So
Minus
if I have to
C1.
bring this in y-intercept form, so if I just simply solve this, then how will this be? So this is going to be by, and the rest everything I'll take it to the other side. So this is going to be minus C1. So if I divide this everything by B, so I get what? A by bx minus C1 by B. And this is similar to what? Y is equals to mx plus c. What is my m? M is nothing but minus A by B. And what is my c? Small c minus C1 by B. So you notice this? This is your y-intercept. I hope you understood.
I understood, but the point I was making was just because the slope is the same in this, that's why the collinear is arising. If the slopes were different, it would have been different.
Right. If this no slopes are same, it's just that intercept value is different. That's why. You are right in that point. Actually, I can say that because you see this y-intercept, if they were same and the slopes were same, essentially it's a collinear line, isn't it? All you mean to say was your C1 is equals to C2. It's just that you are thinking it in a y-intercept.
Yeah.
That is also okay. That's not a problem.
So
But
when you say collinear means it's the same line or
yeah, it's a same line basically. Okay, but what do you mean by really same line? So if I have a line, let's say x plus y is equals to 1 and 5x plus 5y is equals to 5. Is these two same?
Same slope.
Yes, they are same. They are same. Okay. Do not get because we always tend to do this mistake that saying that no, this is x plus y plus 1 is equals to 1, and this it's just that you have multiplied that. That's all.
It has to be like because this is a line and it's not a line segment. That's why they have to be identical. Is it? Say like if there were two lines.
For a line to be collinear, it has to be same. In fact, same.
Okay? It has to be exactly same. Okay.
Exactly same. Okay.
So, but my question is, say if we had two line segments and not lines, and they were partially collinear. So, like, do we call them collinear?
They're partially collinear. What do you mean by partially collinear?
Say like a line was from 0 to 5 and another line segment was from 2 to 7. So are they collinear lines?
2 to 5. What is the slope of this?
Slope is 1.
Okay.
So if there was one segment from 0 to 5,
you can actually get the y-intercept. You can actually get the equation of the line and then see this.
But the second segment was 2 to 7. As a 3 to 7. I think that's what it is. So are these two segments collinear?
What do you see?
I see they're partially collinear, right? So
There
like,
is nothing called partially collinear. It's either collinear or not. That's all.
okay. So you have to have same lines.
Yeah, it has to be a same line. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's go with this to our topic, what we were discussing. What is the distance between these two parallel lines? Though it does not appear parallel, but yes, consider this to be a parallel line. So what is this distance? So how do you get this distance? So we know the formula. Could somebody tell me?
Yes, sir. Mod C1 minus C2
Upon
Y root over a square plus b square.
Root over of
A
a square.
square plus B square.
That's all right. So what is this C1 and C2? You can see from here, and I can actually say this, right? And I don't think so that I should mention actually anything here, because it's self-explanatory, right? You can actually tell this, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's quickly
Yes,
do a
yes.
question over here, and this is where I think we get FAQs. So now let's just say this. Now, if I have a line, let's say I have a line 2x plus, maybe I can give you a simpler line. X plus 2y is equal, or x plus 2y is equals to 5. And you have another line. Let's say this is going to be 2x plus 2x plus 4y minus 10 is equals to 0. What is the distance between these two lines? What is the first thing you should do? The first thing, whenever we give you two lines and then we ask you to find the distance between the lines, first thing you should do is make sure that they are parallel. Right?
Sir, I can't understand. Make sure they are.
I should not give this as 10, but rather I'll give you something else. But maybe I can just give you
Both are the same lines, sir.
I don't want to get the answer as 0. So now tell me. Now they are not same line. Before it was.
Yes, yes.
Now tell me. Tell me now, how will you solve this question? So you first, whenever you get this kind of questions, I'll mute you all. And let's try to finish this soon. Okay. So now I have muted you all. So now you see this. How do you actually solve this kind of question? So whenever if you want to use this formula, make sure that you write it in this form, in this general form, and then apply the formula. Okay. We just actually find out, okay, these lines are parallel, and then we forget what is this A and B. We actually lines up in a confusion, right? So how do you actually do this? So you either convert this in this form or this in the other form. So maybe I can just keep this as it is. So you see this, when I take this line, so I'll just write it in a general form. So this is going to be x plus 2y minus 5 is equals to 0. And when I simplify this, I have to make sure that these things are same. A, right? So the first coefficient is same. So how can I get this? If I divide this by 2, then I can get this, right? So what am I doing? I'm dividing this by 2, right? So what do I get then? I get x plus 2y minus 10 is equals to 0, right? Now what is my A? A is 1. What is my B? B is 2. What is my C1? What is my C1? Minus 5. What is my C2? Minus 10. Now I will be applying this formula. Do not, from here itself, you cannot jump to this formula, because you might land up asking yourself, what is my A and B, right? Or if you're in hurry, you will take off anything of these as A and B, and then you will give the wrong answer. So do not do that. Okay. So what is the distance from here? Then what is the modulus of this? C1 minus C2, right? So 5 minus of minus this turns out to be 10 upon what? Root over of A square plus B square, which is nothing but root 5. So this gives me what? 5 by root 5, which is essentially root 5. Clear? Any doubt?
Sir. No, sir.
Okay, so we are done with this. Nothing more. This is like very, very simple things. All you have to do is just respect how to do these problems, right? And how to use the formulas also. Even if you know the formula, you should actually know when and how to use this formula, right? So this is all you have to know in this unit. It's nothing more over here. Okay.
So it's
not
like
a
we
big
need to
concept.
remember all the formulas, right?
Right. That's the only requirement, at least in week 1 to 4. That is something you'll have to do. Okay, so now what more?
The previous slide.
Tell me, what was your doubt?
The previous slide. Do you have it?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
Sir, so ऊपर. just up ahead where the parallel lines are there. So I just want to understand your uh, uh, what how that tan alpha 2, right? M1, how does M2 become tan alpha 2 here, perpendicular lines? So when you say M2 is
How
equal to
do
tan,
M2 becomes?
is tan alpha 2,
Okay.
and
Just
why
a minute.
and
Just
why
tell
is it
me.
not?
Just tell me about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you remember we started with this root
Yes.
problem,
Yes.
and this is our let's say our line L2. This is making an angle, let's say
Theta.
alpha 2. What
Yeah.
is the slope of L2?
L2 is tan alpha 2.
Tan alpha 2.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
That's how we get it.
Yes. So, but
You understood now?
I understood, but why is it not tan 90 minus alpha 2?
Why do you want to get
Because
it?
it's an obtuse angle, right? Which is forming. Your voice is
So
breaking.
that is simplification part. When we give you the number, then you solve it like that. That's not a problem. Do you know the exact value of this? You don't know, right?
No, but even if it's obtuse, we consider it tan alpha 2 and we don't
Right.
consider
That
it.
is perfectly right. Agree
Okay.
with this. But
Okay.
do you know what is the value, right? What will you write? 90 plus what? 90 plus x is equals to alpha 2. We want to write it like this. But again, we are complexing the things. Why should we even do this, right? When we are doing a problem, we can take up that, isn't it?
Okay.
You got my point, right?
Okay.
Sir, another doubt, why it can't be, I mean, other than alpha 2?
Other than alpha 2, why it, I didn't get?
I mean, the angle opposite to alpha 1. See, if the line is 180, that is alpha 2. And why can't we say tan alpha 2 is the angle opposite to this alpha 2? And I mean, why can't we name that like that?
We can do that if you want to, but this is one way of doing it, so I did it in this way. Doable. Okay. So now let's go with the next concept. It's a very basic thing again. So it's just that we have to discuss. So we'll just finish it off so that we at least will have that sense of completion that yes, we have finished this. And there is nothing more in this week. It's just that you should actually give the practice for your practice assignment and solve those easy activity questions. That's all. There's nothing more. It's like you can say this is a relaxing week. But you should really pay attention to the further weeks like week 3 and week 4. Week 4 is very, very important. And you will get maximum questions from there because we can mix all these weeks together and give you questions, so you can prepare that way. Okay, so now we did all these things with the 3 lines and a point. Now let's go with 3 lines concept, right? So when you have 3 lines, what can these 3 lines do? Maybe like this, like this, like this. It forms something like triangle, right? You can say L1.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
So how did you get like 5 upon 5 is equal to 5?
Sorry, what?
5 upon root 5 is equal to root 5. How did you get?
5 upon root 5 is equals to this one.
Yes.
So you see this, can I write this in this form? Can I write this 5 as root 5 times root 5? Can I do this?
Yes.
Divide by root 5. So this goes off and then. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. So now you see this. Now you have been given a 3 point. Now, if there are 3 lines, what can happen with these 3 lines? This can happen. They might intersect each other, right? In this way. Of course, you have other things. They might be collinear and all that things, but we actually get the same results what we have done. So let's learn something new. So now when these 3 lines intersect, then you will get something like this. And let's say this is your x1, y1, and this is your x2, y2, and let's call this as x3, y3. x3, y3. So these are nothing but these coordinates of, let's say this is A, let's say this is B, or let's call this as C. Okay, so now these are the coordinates for this. Now, this is forming a triangle. So what you can do with this triangle? All you can do is like find the area of this triangle. So now you can just do this. Area of a triangle is nothing but what? You have a standard formula. So that is, I know this is very, we shouldn't be learning this way, wherein I'm just telling you formula and, just making you memorize. There's something, the learning should not happen. But since this is this qualifier is there, and we are actually testing your knowledge with this, or like when you have certain contents, how do you actually learn those things and how do you present in the exam? It's just that we are testing here, right? So that's why here the concepts, but again you have this derivations and everything, like how did this actually came, you should actually learn from the lecture. But as if now here I will just tell you what these formulas are, and then we can actually move ahead, right? So whenever you want to memorize something like this, so what do? X1, X2, X3, and you go this way. Okay, so you take this X1 and you do what? You take this X1 and you do this Y2 minus Y3, Y2 minus Y3, right? And then you go with the next one, that is X2. Then you do what? When you are at X2, then you go with Y3 minus Y1, right? So you go with what? Next, the preceding one. So Y3 minus Y1. Then similarly, when you have, now what? After this, I'm done. So now I'll go with what? Oh, I did error here. So this is X3. Yeah. So when you go to X3, so now where are you? You're here. So now you'll go with what? Y1 minus Y2.
Y1 minus Y2.
Y2.
Y1 minus
is Y2, sir.
1 minus Y3.
Y1 minus Y2.
Y1 minus Y2.
Y1 minus Y2. Because whatever we have taken in X should not include in Y. This is how I remember.
Sir, even in in circular rotation also 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. Like.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, audible. Audible.
I lost my connection. It's some Wi-Fi issues. Okay, so I was asking you, if L1 is equals to L2, which is equals to L3, then what is the area of triangle?
0.
Okay, so that is something.
No, because they are collinear.
Yeah. So now this is something we have to know. And okay, so I guess, yeah, and there is one more concept, the section formula, right? And after this, we are done with the topic. We can do some questions. So maybe I can just write down that as well here. So now what? You have the section formula. And then some famous SSC problems, right? That is something I'll not discuss here. It will be discussed in the next session. Let's go with the section formula. So section formula is like, you have this, you have been given 2 points. Let's say this is your X1, Y1, and this is your, let's say, X2, Y2, right? And you have to find out the coordinates for this P. This P was nothing but X1, Y1. So how do you get this coordinate? So the formula for this is X, Y. If you want to find out this, then you get it by, and say this is dividing in the ratio M is to N. So this is, let's say, M, N. So this M is nothing but this distance, basically. It's basically the ratio. It's not the distance, but this is what you get. So now how do you get this? The formula is M. So it's like, if you want to find out this, then you multiply this with this, right? So M X2 plus, now this with this. So it's going to be
N(x1)
N(x1) upon what?
M plus N.
With this, you will get X coordinate for P. Now, if you want to get the Y coordinate for y coordinate for this is, then how do you get this? So similarly,
my2
my2 plus
my2
ny1
plus
divided by m plus
ny1 m plus 1
n
m
plus
plus
1.
n.
Yes.
so this is what you get, section formulas, and done. Okay, so this is what on generalities, and one more concept, this is SSC, that is something which will be taught you in the next lecture. So as if now, this is what the whole point was. And now I'll take you to the activity questions and get it done with another half an hour. Because as I told you, like today we have got some kind of meeting. So let's finish it this early. And I think it's not a very big thing wherein I should actually prioritize. I mean, I should be doing a lot of problem here. So I think it's doable. You can see my screen. Okay, you can just see my that part. So maybe I'll just.
Sir,
Yeah, just a minute. You can see my screen. Yes. Tell me if you have any doubt in this activity questions.
sir, I have doubt in the like, as you said, area of triangle.
Okay, tell me what is your doubt.
That sir, I didn't remember that how to learn that.
How to learn this? How to memorize this?
Actually, sir, I'll confuse while solving this, like x1, y2,
Okay,
y1,
so maybe
y3.
we can take up one question here itself, and you tell me how to solve this. Okay.
Okay.
So now let's say I have been given you 3 points. Let's say this question 4. Let's say your A was 2, your B is 3, 4, and your C is 5, okay. Now you have to find out the area of this triangle ABC. Could you help me out in solving this in this formula?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll just simply write half. So maybe I can just say this. Area of triangle ABC is equal to, yes, tell me. What should I take? What should I take? Now you know this.
X1, which is
I will write. I'll first do what? I'll do this. Okay. So that you will not have any confusion during your exams, because when you're in your exams, we actually tend to miss what is what, right? So better to write it here on the top. Okay. So what is your X1? It's going to be 2. Okay. Then
y2 is 4 minus 2 plus 2. Sorry, 3. It is y.
3.
3.
No, let's see say. Yeah, go ahead.
y3 is 2 minus 2.
Okay.
X3 is, sir, is it 5?
5.
2 minus 4.
Okay, now let's simplify this. So now you whatever is there in bracket will solve this. So 2 minus 2, it's nothing but 2.
0.
So 2 times 2 is 4. This is going to be 0. And what about
minus 10?
Minus 10. So what do you get essentially? Can you simplify this?
Minus 6 and minus 3.
So what is the
overall
answer?
3?
Overall 3, because this will be modulus. So this is going to be 6 by 2, which is nothing but 3 some square units.
But so I have a problem in like remembering this formula.
Now you see, I'll tell you one thing. Since I was here, and what we did was, like, we have located our points and we have numbered them points. I mean, we have labeled these points as x1, y1, x2, y2, and x3, y3. I know it's kind of easy when somebody is there to solve, but when nobody is there, try multiple problem solving, right? I do understand, even if you know the formula and even if you know how to do it, but still you won't be able to solve it just because you don't have much practice. And see, until or unless you do problems and get the answer, you will never get the confidence, no matter how much problems I solve. So if you want to get the confidence, you should actually solve many problems and see how you're doing it. And then you can actually say that, yeah, now I'm doing it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
Sir,
so now let's, yes.
May I ask a question, please?
Yes. Go ahead.
Practice assignment, question number 7. Kindly please explain that question. I'm not able to get it properly.
Okay. So which practice assignment it is?
Grade 2 practice assignment. First one.
Okay. So do any of you have doubt in activity? Because it's easy, doable. or like do you have?
Yeah, doable. Little bit
Yes, sir.
calculation is there,
Huh.
just
But
doable.
still it is doable, because this is something I have seen from the past experience also here in the previous terms and previous to previous terms as well. There's not much questions in this week too, because even if you have it, I think you should be able to do it, or I myself will take it. Yes, tell me here which question you want in this
7,
practice
question
assignment.
number 7.
Okay, after this I'll go back to activity and take up your activity doubts, because this is what this session is designed for, right? So maybe we can go it in the order. So which is this question number 7, right?
Right.
Tell me.
Yes, this one.
Hmm.
This is the tangent path. I'm not able to get it. And the will you please explain these things? Trajectory,
Okay, sure.
trajectory
Sure,
path,
sure,
and
sure.
all this stuff.
Sure. Maybe I can take this question. Okay, so we can solve this. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So this is our problem, right? So let's try to solve this problem, and then I'll take up activity question. So what do you understand from me? Maybe I'm not solving everything because the solution is already provided. So a plane begins to land when it is at height this much meters above the ground. Okay, and it's landing. It follows a straight line path and lands at a point which is at horizontal distance. So maybe they're just giving you this hint that you have to draw the coordinates over here. So what they're telling you is, this is, let's say this is our ground. Okay, and you
Y
have a
is
plane.
1,500.
So let's say this lies on the y-axis, just to avoid more calculation. So we can say this is on here. So this is where our plane begins to land, right? So this is something 1,500. So can I say this is something like 0, 1,500?
Yes.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And from here it starts to what? It's landing linearly, right? And it lands where?
It is
distance.
2,700, 0.
2,700, 0. So this is where it lands. Okay. Now there are two towers which are at horizontal distance of somewhere in the 900 meters. So that will be something here. Okay. Maybe I can just draw this tower with this simple height, and another is at somewhere here. Of course, we have to be more sensible enough. If this tower is more taller than this will coincide. I mean, it will collapse, right?
Yes.
Right. So it has to be in that particular. So if this is the case, then can I say this? So this is something like 900. So this is basically 900, comma something. I don't know what. Right. And this is something going to be 1,800, comma something. I don't know what.
Yeah. Right.
So,
got it.
Right. So this is going to be something, and I don't know what it is that. Right. So it's not 0 basically. It is something. So now let's understand this. So now what? These two towers, which are at horizontal distance this and this meters away, are in the same direction as the landing point. So we made it according to this, right? Now choose the correct options regarding the plane trajectory and safe landing. So first of all, look at this part, the landing part. So you have this point, you have another point, you have 2 points now. When you have 2 points, can you find the equation of this trajectory?
Yes. So what is trajectory, by the way?
Trajectory is that path, and it's following a straight line path.
Okay.
Okay. So could you tell me what should be your approach for finding which formula will you be using for finding the
y minus y1 by y1 minus y2?
Oh, that's difficult, right? You can do this. X by a plus y by b.
Yes, y by b is equal to 1. Yes, right.
So you can do this. So you can take this in this way.
Plus y by.
Wait, I think I'm making a mistake. So this has to be something like this. So y by 1,500, which is actually equals to 1.
Yes.
So now what? Now what we can do with this? I can take out 100 common and then throw it to the other side.
15x plus 21, x by 27 by y by 15 is equal to 100.
You can do this. Is equal to 100. Now let's keep this in this way, because if we simplify more, it will become more complex. So let's just keep it this way. So do we have some options? So you see?
Yes, I can.
So you can actually do all this. Now what you have to make is, I understood what you meant to say with this was when you have been given this points. Now let's say if it is, now all you have to make sure is when this x is 900, what do you get y value, right? So what you have to do is just substitute this x in this and you get the y value.
Okay,
So,
this is in the same line. That's why it satisfies that equation.
But we don't know what is that case, right? So first of all, yeah. So what do you really mean by this is at this 100. So let's say there is a point something here, something is given. The maximum safe height for towers are this and this meters respectively. They are talking about the height, right? So you see this, when you substitute this value, essentially when you substitute this 900 to this y value, whatever you will get, right, is nothing but it's giving you kind of what? It's kind of giving you the height, if you see. Or you can say that at 900, when this is 900, at this point, what is the height? Or basically what is the y coordinate over here? Essentially, you will be finding what? This point you will be finding out. So this is going to be 900 comma y. So this y will tell you this tower height must be lesser than this.
Right? Must be lesser than this.
Must be lesser than this. Or for simplicity, since we are taking as a point object, then we say that it should be actually lesser than that. But sometime you will see that, yeah, it is actually equal to that. But that is something you can avoid. But saying this is a point image, point object, so you can say that, yeah, it has to be lesser than that for its safe height. So this is what you have to do. I hope you can do now.
That's when you were saying that 900 and y satisfy the equation. So from this equation, we can get y.
And that y is nothing but the height of what? Height of that flight at that x value.
Point.
Yeah, at that x value, right? So the tower must be lesser than that, isn't it? If it is more than that, then they are
it will collide,
it will collide, right?
Okay, so, now I'm able to get it.
Yes. Okay, so now let's go to the activity questions. If you have any, you can just ask me right now. Okay?
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
In activity, tell me which one. So maybe I can just go in a order. So in 2.1, do you have any doubt in 2.1?
No, sir.
To everyone, because we will not be asking you again. You should not be asking any doubt after hereafter, because we should progress, right? We should go to the next part. Over here, I don't think so. Here as well, 2.2.
No doubt.
Okay.
2.5, question number 4, sir.
Okay. So before that, 2.3. Wait. If somebody with 2.3, you can ask me. Yes, tell me.
Yes, sir. 2.3. So question number 1. So question number 1 and 2.
Okay. The coordinates of midpoint of this and this are. Now you should be able to solve this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is.
We did the section formula. It says what? Midpoint. Midpoint means what? What is your m and n value?
1:1, sir.
Let's say midpoint means what?
Oh, okay.
You understood? The m is 1 and n is 1. So because m and n are ratio, and if it is a midpoint, so it means what? The ratio must be same, right?
Yes,
let's say if it is 10:10, essentially it's nothing but 1/1, isn't it? And that's how you solve.
Sir, I have used midpoint formula x1 plus x2 by 2.
It's the derivative of that. You can use it. You
I
can
use that x1 plus x2 by 2.
Sorry?
I do mistaken for that x1.
It's okay, no problem. But since that is a ratio, you should take it in a ratio form. Okay. Okay, now tell me here in 2.4, do you have any doubt?
So question number 5, sir.
In 2.4?
Question number 5.
Okay, activity 5.
1 second.
Yes, sir.
Tell me where, which question you have.
Question number 1 and 4.
Question number 1 and 4. Find the slope of a line passing through origin and the point. Yeah, what is your doubt in this? You solve it now and tell me what is the answer for this.
For this one, sir?
No, the person who had doubt in this. I want him to solve this. So it's passing through origin. So what is the coordinate for origin?
0, 0.
0,0. You have been given 2 points and you have to find the slope of this point. So could you tell me what is the slope?
Sir, change in x and change in y, and we get the slope.
Change in y upon change in x. So what is that you get? What do you get? You get 2 by 3?
2 by 3.
2 by 3.
But you don't
Yes.
have option
Multiplied
2
by
by 3.
But sir, answer is 4 by 6, sir.
Then what do? We actually choose option D, right? We say like, okay,
No, sir, but answer
just
is
the
4
opposite.
by 6.
So reduce that 4 by 6. What do you get?
Yeah,
2 by 3.
2 by 3, right? Yeah.
It's just a scaled version.
But if I was you, I would have given option D, you know. Like this is what we make mistake, right? I mean, if it is not 2 by 3, what is similar thing you look for, right?
Yes.
Right. So yeah, so you shouldn't do that mistakes. That's why we gave this option so that you make error somewhere. Anyways, you understood that. That's fine. Okay. So now let's go with option 4. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Through which of the following points do the slope of through which of the following points do lines of the slope 0 pass? Now you see this. What is the slope of the line? 0. Essentially, what is the equation of the line then?
No, sir. What I'm
Y is
saying
equal to
for
C.
slope of line is equal to 0.
Y is equal to C. Yeah. What is your doubt? Yes. That person, please.
So actually, what I want to know, sir, when the slope of line is equal to 0, it means the coordinate for y should be 0, sir.
Coordinate for y should be 0. Why?
Because it should be parallel to x-axis, no, sir?
So you mean to say it has to be fixed, right? So y is equals to, let's say this y is equals to mx plus c. What is your m? M is 0. So y is equals to c. So what is fixed here? C is fixed. Yes, you told it right. C is fixed.
Yes, sir.
X can be anything.
Yes, sir.
So now what could be the answer?
Sir, as per me,
0,4.
0. No. Third option and first option should be correct, but I am in doubt for the B and D, sir.
So 0,4 is the correct answer.
0,4 is the correct answer, but why?
Because the equation of line is mx, y is equal to mx.
I feel all the options should be right.
Yes, sir. Actually, in answer, it shows all options are correct, but I selected our third option, sir.
Yeah, but actually all the options are right, isn't it?
That's what I want to know, sir. How, sir?
All the options are right.
How means you see, okay. So that's what, no, it can be any point, right? So for example,
Maybe.
Yes, sir.
okay. Yeah, okay, fine. So now what, in the question, what does it say? Slope is 0. Slope is what? 0. And they have given a line. So a line with slope 0, right? So that line could be anything, no? It can be this line also, this line also, this line also, this line also. It can be any line. You see, for all these lines, the slopes are 0.
Yes.
Right? Now, if you have been given any point, let's say a point was 5, 4. This is what they have given, no? 5, 4. So is this answer right? Yes, it is right. If I give you another point, let's say minus 5, 8. So is this answer right? The answer is right, because see, the slope is 0 and it passes through this point. Right?
Understood, sir.
Understood.
Actually,
So in that case, any point can be the option, right?
Right. Because see, what they have given is just a slope equals to 0. They just told that slope is 0. And now it is passing through which among these lines. So you can have a slope, but you see, one tricky thing was, they never told you what is C. If the C was fixed, then you should have restricted to the points, right? Which is that point. But since C is nothing but it's like any variable, like, I mean, it can be any constant. It's basically, this is what they meant to say, right? In the question.
Yes.
Isn't it? So this C could be anything. That is why I have drawn different lines, right? For this line, what is the C? C is some value. Maybe we can call it as C1. It can be anything, no? And that's why it can pass through any of these points.
And they didn't hold the full information. That's why.
That's why.
So what I get is, if the slope of the line is 0, it means it should always be parallel to the x-axis. So whatever
all
the
these lines are
coordinates
parallel. Even here, all these lines are parallel, you see.
Yes, sir. So whatever the coordinates we will take, it will be parallel only.
Yes.
normally what you see is whenever we say x is equals to 0, so we tend to say that it's basically the x-axis, but that's the normal mistake we do, but it's okay. I mean, some of you would have given this as the answer.
First and third, sir.
First and third.
I have given
Why
one
third? Because there was one more zero. Why not?
zero, right? Which are parallel to that.
So that's doable. Now, do you have any doubt here in activity 2.6? Anybody, any doubt?
It's an easy one.
Easy one,
The
right?
question number third, sir. 2.6, question number 3.
Okay. If a line is parallel to a line which is perpendicular to the y-axis, then the slope of the first line is. Yeah.
Perpendicular, not defined, sir.
Not defined? But why?
No, sir. 0, sir. Sorry, 0.
Okay, so what is your doubt then?
Question number 3, sir.
Question number 3. Okay, I'm sorry. The angle formed by the intersection of two lines with the slope 1 and -1 is what? It's just that you have to use the formula. It's done. Right?
Yes.
I'll mute you all. Yeah. It's just that you have to use that formula, isn't it? You will get it. But again, what you get from there is nothing but the slope you get, right?
Yeah.
You get the slope value, but you should actually, from here, you are actually expected to memorize some values like what is tan 0? Tan 0 is 0. What is tan 30? Tan 30 is nothing but 1 by root 3. What is tan 45? 1. What is tan 60?
Root 3.
These values you have to like memorize. That is what, but most likely I'll tell you, like, if you see everywhere, I think the answer is 45.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir, it's
45.
90, sir.
It's
90
90,
degrees.
sir.
Yes, sir. It's
90,
90, sir.
1
Okay.
into minus
So
1 equal to
basically, these are
-1.
perpendicular lines.
Perpendicular.
Perpendicular.
They are perpendicular, sir.
Okay. Okay, so it's just that, nothing more. Okay, this is like the simplest you can have. Now here in 2.7, do you have any doubt?
It's quite easy, I think.
Yeah, this week is quite easy, and you will not have much difficulty here in this week. All you have to know is that SSC is something you will find it unique, and that is also not really difficult. But SSC is something we will always, we will
Use
definitely use
a
it.
lot of calculation in
But don't worry, you will not have calculations in your examination.
Sir,
what about the SSC?
SSC will do it in the next class.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Over here, I think.
Fourth question, sir.
Here in 2.8?
Fourth question.
Okay. So choose the correct answer. Now this equation is given. Is the equation of a line. So what is the slope of this line?
Sir, for me, I have doubt in second option, sir.
Okay. Y is equals to 0 is the equation of a line passing through origin.
It is the equation of horizontal line, sir.
Horizontal line.
Then how it can be equation of origin?
It's not an equation of origin, no? It's just
The
saying it
line
passes through the
passing.
origin.
it's
Yeah.
asking that is passing
It is
or not.
passing through the origin, not that horizontal line.
Okay.
Okay,
Look at this
sir.
equation. Y is equals to, if you bring it in, y is equals to mx plus c. What is m value here?
0.
What is c value here?
0.
0. Essentially, what is this? It's x-axis.
X-axis.
Right? Is the equation of a line passing through the x-axis passes through the origin, definitely.
Yes,
right?
sir.
I mean,
Sir,
that's
I
how
have a
it's
question
on that.
regarding graded assignment 1. I haven't get the marks for graded assignment 1.
Did you go through the solution?
Sorry, sir.
Go through this. Go through the solution. Solution is available.
No, sir. I haven't got the marks. For the graded assignment 1, right?
Everybody has got marks. You see, you go in the score thing.
No, sir. It will be
Maybe
available.
no, sir. Your scores haven't
Sir, it's 0 by 100.
Mine is not showing, sir.
No,
you will be getting.
it's not showing right
It
now.
will be updated. It will be updated.
It will take a time because you see,
Yes.
I mean, we had made there was some typo and things like that. So we have to actually evaluate because we actually wait for your comments. Like we see like if we made some error or something. So we take your views and then we
And
actually
sir,
evaluate and then give you the.
There is
okay.
error in the
Sir.
question 2. There was a 2 option, same 2 option in a
Right.
question.
We know this. We know this.
Yeah, that has,
Sir,
That has
there
been
is an
sorted out,
issue
and
with
the
me.
last question is the answer is 50.
The error has been
Sir,
cleared.
yeah.
So
So
do
over
we
here now,
discuss
first let's finish this
sir, do we
activity and
discuss
let's
this?
find out. Yeah,
Sir, just
let's
a
just
small
finish.
question.
Just
Do
a
we
minute. Just
discuss
a
the
minute.
graded?
Just a minute. Huh. Now first tell me, let's finish this activity and let's go in the order. Do you have doubt in this 2.9?
Sir, activity 2.8, fourth option, sir.
Okay, that is not discussed. Okay. 2.8, fourth option.
Fourth question, fourth option.
Okay, fourth question, fourth option. Okay, so this is the equation of a line in intercept form. Is this right?
Yes, sir. We can write that in intercept form, no, sir.
But is this okay? Intercept form, right? Yeah. Is this a right answer?
No, sir. It is incorrect.
So there is a very minor thing. What I can say is, because you see, what we are expecting over here is it has to be written in that standard way of intercept form. That's all. I mean, of course, you can write it, and it is not something we can ask you in the exam. But this is just since this is activity question. So what we expect is like, okay, you read this, you applied the formula, and are you getting that in that form or not? Definitely, this is in intercept form. If you are to ask me, because you can just simplify and then you can present it, right?
Okay,
Definitely,
so
that
then
is
it
right.
should be in the form of x by a plus y by b equal to 1.
Huh. You can do all that. Of course, you can arrange them in that form and get the answer. But we just want you directly to substitute and get the answer. And this is, and in that form, basically, like how do you have general form ax plus by plus c, right? So you represent it. And then we ask you, is this in general form, right? Likewise, is this in intercept form? Of course, you can bring everything in every form.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So in activity 2.9, any doubt here? No doubt, I can go ahead. So in 2.8, any doubt here? These are like very easy, right? It's not very difficult. It's like, it's doable. This is again easy. So maybe tell me anywhere here you have doubt or you have not gone through it all still.
I
You
haven't
haven't
gone through all of
Yes,
this.
sir.
In fact, the videos
haven't
are
gone
more.
through,
The
sir.
next time.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And these questions are really easy. Don't worry about
These
it.
are very lengthy, sir.
Yeah, it's actually, there are so many videos to see.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
you can see it in 2x, and whatever you know, you can actually skip, or you can actually see those slides, that can actually give you a good idea. So I mean, since it's very lengthy, and what you should actually concentrate on is practicing
Sir,
questions.
sir,
Yes, now
question
you can
3.
ask me an open question here. Now since I'm done with this activity thing, yes, you had
Sir,
a
question
doubt in
3.
graded of
Activity
what?
12.
Sir, I have a
Activity
question.
12, question number 3. Okay, find the distance between the two parallel lines, this and this. Okay, first of all, are they parallel? Yes, they are parallel. Now what is your doubt? Okay, I'll tell you what is A and B in your formula here. What is your A?
A is 4 and B is 8.
Then what
No,
is your
sorry,
C1?
A is A and B is
No,
3.
no,
So
that
A
is
is
okay.
4.
That depends on the perspective. But once you tell me what is your C1 and then C2, then I'll understand what is your A and B.
C1 is 4, 5, and C2 is minus 30, right?
Minus 30
Minus
by?
5 and 30.
No,
C,
plus
no,
5 and
that
30.
cannot
Plus
be.
5 and minus 5.
No,
That cannot be. That
it's
cannot be.
5 and minus 15.
Minus
Correct. Minus 15.
15.
What is
Minus 15.
C1? C1 is 5. If C1 is 5, then your C2 has to be minus 15.
How so?
Clear? Yeah, that's what I was explaining you in the previous video. I mean, the previous thing. What is the
It's
formula?
simplified.
Ax plus by plus C1 is equals to 0, right? So you have to bring it in the same order. Like you have to make sure that these are in same form. Like you either multiply this with 2 or you reduce this by 2, right? You bring it in the same form, this A and B, right? They have to be same, and then you solve this. Is this clear?
Okay, right, got it.
Yeah. Okay, so somebody had doubt in this graded assignment, and after this, we can just wind up our session.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
2.
I have
Practice assignment 2.3.
2.3. Okay, first
Yeah,
let's just get it done with this
second
graded because he's asking from that time. Yes, tell me, what is your doubt here?
Second last one, sir.
Second last. Okay, this one.
No, not in practice assignment.
Yes, sir, sir. 10 number.
Question number 10. Yes. Tell me, what is your doubt here? Quickly.
Come on, man, what's your doubt?
What is your doubt? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah.
Sir,
So
you are audible.
Sir.
what is your doubt here? You don't have doubt. You did not see yet. It's okay. You have other 2 more sessions wherein you can ask this. Yes, somebody had doubt here in practice
Yes,
assignment
sir,
2.3.
second last one.
2.3.
Yeah, 2.3, second last question. That water, uh, there was some gallon of water, na?
Just a minute.
Second last, before that area of triangle.
Which one? Second last
No,
question of the
no,
set?
no, not above that. Above that.
This one?
Yeah, this one. I haven't used the way for the last one. The pool would be empty on 25th day since the beginning of the leak. I haven't used the same way the sir told in this
Okay,
solution
this
period.
solution. Okay.
Actually used the formula. I converted my 25 days to hours and then multiplied it using the formula that has been given above. And I got the answer that it will be 25
That's
gallons.
it.
So is it
That's
the
it.
right thing?
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay, sir. Just that I wanted to ask.
Sir, is
So,
in
okay.
question number 8, the option given in practice sheet are wrong. Solution here is right, but the option showing in the practice sheet is wrong.
Okay, okay. Maybe we can then take a look and change that thing. Okay.
Sir, can you explain problem number 2 in this assignment?
Problem number 2. This one. This
Yes,
one,
sir.
is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you are climbing a ladder
The
which is
diagram.
slanted. So you are climbing a ladder which is slanted at an angle of 45 degree. Okay, with respect to the ground, the ladder leaning against a wall is at a vertical distance of 1 meter. So this vertical distance, so this is basically a wall, right? This BC indicates wall, right? And you are somewhere here. The ladder base is somewhere here at A, right? And this is your ladder, right? You can see my cursor, right?
Yes, sir.
So now what they are saying, the vertical distance is of 1 meter from the ground. Okay, we got that. If you are at location which cuts the ladder in the ratio 2:1. Wait, what is this? If you are at a location which cuts the ladder, now what? The ladder is leaning against the wall. Okay, fine. So now what, you are climbing this ladder and you are at location in which you are at ratio 2:1. Okay, from the top to bottom, right? So from top to bottom, it's basically this is 2 and this is 1, or from top to bottom, right? So this is M is 2 and N is 1, right? Okay. What are the coordinates of your location? So basically they want to know what is this P. That's all. So what you see, this A is known to you. How do you get your A? Because you see this angle is 45 degree. 45 degree is nothing but BC by AC is 1. Understood? BC by AC is 1. So from here you get to know, okay, what is your AC? So AC is essentially, or the coordinate of C is essentially 1, 0. And then you get to know what is the coordinate of B. That is going to be 1, 1. You understood? How did you get that? And we took the current location of A as 0, 0. And now you see this. Now you know the coordinates of A and you know the coordinates of B and you know what is your M and what is your N. Now all you have to do is direct formula substitution to get the answer. Clear?
Sir, question number 9 in this assignment.
Okay, question number 9. Tell me here. So it's like continuation of some question, is it? No.
Yes, sir. This 9 one. So how to do it? Unable to understand.
Okay. A skeleton of an aircraft wing comprises of the ribs and the spars. Note that the ribs and spars are arranged perpendicular to each other during the manufacture. You have to make sure that these pairs are perpendicular. That's all. Basically, what you have to do is, this is R, no? So you have to make sure that what is the slope of this R and what is the slope of this S, and make sure that they are perpendicular. That's all you have to do.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So all right, then we can wind our session for now. And
Sir,
I
have a question.
Sir, I have a question.
We were talking about graded assignment 1, so we will discuss that, or we will just
Yeah,
go to...
this is same question of mine also, because there is a 1-2 question. This is very confusing. I'm not able to get it. So can we discuss the answer?
Yes, so for the graded assignment 1,
Which one?
question
Which
number
Yes,
10.
this is R3. Last
Yes,
one.
are we
R3.
supposed to do all the take out all
Yes,
the
yes, yes, yes,
elements?
yes.
This
That is what you
R3
are
one,
supposed to do.
how to, I didn't get how they make the set of R3.
Okay. You did not get how to. Can anybody explain this? How to get the set R3? So that will be practice to you as well. Can anybody take that responsibility? Okay, maybe I'll just mute all and then that person gets speak. Yes. Please go ahead.
So can I
What's your good
explain,
name?
sir?
What's your good name?
Sushma.
Sushma. Okay, Sushma, please go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, we are considering R1 and R2, where we are taking the A and C from.
Just a minute. So who asked this question? Who had doubt in finding R3?
It's mine, sir.
What's your good name?
Me.
Kajori.
Nikita.
Okay, Kajori. And Nikita. And who is explaining this?
Sushma.
Sushma. So Sushma, can you please explain then?
Yeah.
How is this?
So
and you guys can coordinate. You can actually ask her cross question her if she can answer this. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So basically, what we are doing here is we have a set A, which is 1 second. I'll just open my
Do it.
my solution that I had worked out. Yeah. So basically, we have R1, which is a set which consists of where A is a factor of B. So and R2, where we have a set which wherein A plus B mod 10 is 0. That is, if you add this any number from set A and another number from set B and you divide it by 10, it is divisible. So basically, R3 is nothing but you have to take up one set from R1. Say first set is 2, 6. So if you consider 2, 6 from here, is it given here down there? Is it shared?
Just a minute. Yeah.
So if you can just share R1, R2 would be enough.
So here, okay, maybe I can just.
Yeah. So if you see this R1, the first set is 2, 6. So we consider that as A, B. Okay. So we consider that as A, C. Sorry. Is that correct what I'm saying? Sir, is that correct?
Yeah, that's what you told me. A, C. And that's what we
A,
want. Right?
C. Right.
Yeah.
So you have to check that if A, C is 2, 6, in R2, you search for B, C. Is that correct, sir? What I'm saying? No, I'm
so you see this, basically what you're doing here is, what you're telling is right only, because you see this here, what it says, what you check where your A, C should belongs to A, right?
Yes.
And your B, basically your A is a part of, this is part of this, and so there is something called B which is belonging to set B. If
right.
A, B belongs to R1, right?
Yes.
And C, B belongs to R2.
Right.
Now you see this, all you have to make sure that look at this B.
The B is same. That is in the B position, the R1 and R2 should have, like for example, I'll just give an example that would be better. In R1, it is 2, 6. So in R2, you look for anything where the second number in the pair is 6. Okay. So for example, you come across in R2 where hold on.
Yeah, take it.
Sorry. Yeah. So you come across a pair where you get say 4, 6. Okay. So you 2, 6 in R1 and 4, 6 in R2. So you see that A, C and B, C. If you consider that the C is matching, that's why we say that A, B, that is 2, 4 will go into R1, R3. Same way, you go again ahead, you find that there is another pair where you have the second number as 6, that is 14, 6. So 2, 6 and 14, 6. 6 is in the is the second number in the pair. So the first two numbers will go in the R3 set, that is 2, 14. This is how you start preparing that set. So every pair you take up from R1, you take the second number, check for that second number in the R2. It should be the second number in R2, not the first number. And then what happens is you take the first number from R1 and the first number from R2. That is the pair, and that makes the pair in R3. Are you getting me? I'm not using the word
Well,
A, B, C. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got this. But did you get?
Yes, yes.
Got it?
I've got the concept. The
Yeah.
only thing that I wanted to ask here is this question is time taking.
Yes.
Yeah, we
So-
have to calculate for each and every number. We have to
Right, right.
see for each and
I get
every
it.
number, right?
Right.
So there is
what I
no
felt was-
kind of thing that we can get it without calculation.
Right.
Without
Is
this
there any
that question
shortcut?
even I
Because
had,
because
sir.
this question alone will take half of time, half of the time.
Right.
Yes,
So
yes.
you don't get this kind of questions in your quizzes. This is your practice. I mean, it's
Okay.
like a graded. It's
Okay.
you get a week to solve this, right?
Right.
I mean, at least not week, at least 5 days.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Right. So that's why we made it one question, like
Yes, so even the
Wherein
same
we-
question I had, sir, because is there any other way or a formula to
No,
arrive?
no,
Because
no,
this
actually.
really took
Even
a
I
lot
had,
of time.
I understood how
Sir.
to calculate R1, R2, R3, but the
Okay,
only
maybe
thing
somebody
was,
else will have an interesting way of doing it. Yes. Do
Sir,
anybody
can
any
it?
other way?
Sir, can we go to the earlier question about the?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
So can we go to the earlier question about this?
Let him finish. Let him finish. No, first. Yeah. Okay.
Sir,
and then-
can it be done using like programming languages? Like someone help me doing this.
You
by
can actually
using-
do this in a very easier way in programming language, but we wanted you to solve it mathematically. Because when you're doing programming, you should at least know how is that happening. It's kind of logic if you see, right?
got
It's
it.
kind
Yes.
of, yeah. So it's good that you have that math behind you and you do this math right away. And then you do programming thereafter. That's okay. I mean, when you
Sorry.
do, when you use this computational thing, it's just that code, right? I mean, it's very simple. It's just this, you have to put some if conditions and, get it done with this. And
Yes, sir.
some loop. Yeah. So maybe,
Excuse
yeah,
me,
one
sir.
more question and we can wind this.
Sir.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's
Yeah.
go up earlier
Sir,
one
in this
about
question. Excuse me.
Above, yeah. Which
the
one?
earlier one, the Venn diagram one. It was a little
This one.
confusing. Yeah.
So
This
for
little
this
confusing.
Not this one.
10th
This
question,
one was still okay. The earlier one.
The early one,
Earlier one Venn diagram.
which question number?
I think second or third question.
Second or third? This one?
Yes, yes, this one.
No. There was this number of students for 5. Where is that question?
This one.
This one.
Okay, tell me.
This was, I was a little lost in this question.
Okay.
I think I got a little confused with how to solve this one.
Okay, so this is the question, right? So in a college 350 student, okay, so if you want to solve these kind of questions, just make a habit of writing these numbers then and there. Okay, so I stopped sharing. So this is the last question, and after this I'm stopping because
Sir,
got something
sir,
else. Yeah.
I have a doubt. In the question you were just solving now for R1, R2, and R3. I have a doubt that in the last doubt session, like not in the solve with us. Before that, the instructor has said that the even numbers include 0. So that's why I have taken 0 for A.
But positive even numbers does not include 0. 0 is neither a positive nor negative number, right?
Yeah, I thought that only.
Yeah. I thought like somebody will be thinking that way. But
yeah,
for now you should
because
learn this.
after the instructor said that 0 should be included for
Yeah,
this
I guess.
that's why I used that.
So maybe you
And,
should ask, sir, like, is it
before-
positive or negative? That was like half question asked.
Yeah, so my question got wrong
I got it,
because
yeah.
I got 51 instead of 50, and the question got wrong.
Oh, sad, but yeah, just keep it in mind that that 0 is neither a positive number nor a negative number, right? So when positive even number means 0 doesn't come. Okay, and you were so near, in fact, for getting answer, right? It's just because of that.
Yes,
that's
that
why I get it.
0 thing got wrong.
Yeah, I get it. So it's okay. Now let's.
And sir,
Excuse me, sir. In question
I
number
have-
9, my answer is 6, and the right answer is also 6, as you have also like said. But I am not getting any marks for that.
Could you post that thing? Your
Yeah, I
term
have-
student or discourse? Or qualifier student?
Yes, sir. I have posted.
Where in the forum or like discourse?
In the forum.
Forum. So maybe we'll take up from there. We'll look into that as well.
So one more doubt in SSC problem.
That we can take up in the next class, because if I discuss this, I won't be able to solve this here, not be able to explain it.
Okay.
So yeah,
Because
shall we do this, because I want to wind
Yes,
up
sir,
now.
please. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, there
Maybe
is
this
the
is the
same
last
kind
one, and because I know we will have a lot of doubt, and we have 2 more sessions, we can ask those doubts there as well. Okay, so let's just
So
quickly.
actually, I wanted to ask you that question because other I get cleared by you much better. That's why.
Okay. Okay, but
So
yeah,
are you
but
coming in the
yeah,
next
but I'll be
session?
coming with Solve with Us. I'll be coming with Solve with Us session. You can ask me there as well, so that's fine. Okay.
Okay. So let's solve this.
Solve with the session. I'll be there, so you can ask
Thank
me
you,
there, and
sir.
it's SSC, right? So I'll take up questions in SSC. Don't worry. Okay, so you can till then you can try to solve it here and there. So here, let's do this problem. So here it says mathematics 120. So just write down this 120 here, right? How do you solve this? You just write down 120 here. Then statistics it says 150. So maybe I'll mute all. It's kind of disturbing. And this is last. After this, no more question, and I'm stopping. Okay. And this is what English is how much? 160. So you make a habit of writing like this. And now it says what? 72 mathematics and statistics. So mathematics and statistics. So you write them here in between. It's indicate this yellow color region, this part at least. And what about the other one? Mathematics and English is taken by 75.
75 and 9.
So just let me write this, and then we can discuss this, because this is easy for me. If I write it, then I can actually explain you better. Yeah, and 32 call. Yeah, now tell me what is your doubt.
Once we wrote this, we need to find out. So one is we need to it is saying the 32 all courses. So 30 will be the midpoint, right? In the middle of the all the. Now, if we use that set formula P union P8 plus.
Okay, don't go with that formula as if now. Just
Okay.
just do with this diagram. If this is 30, then what is this? If this entire thing was 70, this is what it indicates.
Okay. 40, 60, and 45. Correct.
Right? So you can just map them as it is. Now you see this is 45 and this is going to be 60. Now all you have to do is just add all of these. Whatever you have, this is this inside this region, isn't it?
So
and
now 150 is statistics. So we have 40, 30, and 60. So that will be okay. So okay.
Right? Now you will get it.
Okay. Oh, I was actually going through that formula and I got really confused.
I don't go with that formula. Actually, I like doing with this Venn diagram. So I thought like I can explain you here with much easier way.
Oh, thank you.
All right, then I can end this session here. And I know you have doubts. So I will take up this doubt in the next session. And I know. Please keep your doubts.
Sir, it's not a doubt.
Then.
Sir, it's not a doubt about question. There is an error in grading in the graded assignment. So where should I report there? In the forum section or where?
You can do this in the forum.
Okay,
what is the error? Question is repeated.
No, sir.
No, answer is.
Sir, in question number 8, the right answer is 3. It's an integer type question. The right answer is 3, and I answered is 3, but it's showing there 4. The right answer is showing there 4, and when I check the solution, it's also 3.
Check the solution how? Like in the week 2, how the solution you have checked?
No, sir. Week 1.
Okay. Question number 8.
Yes. Bengal Tiger 1.
Okay, just put it in the forum. Let's see that. I don't think so. There should be something error like this, but still put it. We can just check that.
In the solutions, the right answer is given as 3, and I answered it as a 3. But like there, it's showing there.
Put both the things. Put Put that answer as well as this. We'll take up from this. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So yes. So thank you all. We can end our session.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Good day.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.